What's going on, everyone? Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing out there? It is B. Avery back for another episode of Just My Opinion Reviews. The season finale or the show finale, Bel Air season 4. It is episode 1. Lamont, what did you think about this episode, sir? Let us have it. General impressions.
I enjoyed it. I'm glad it's back. I hate to see it go. They took a little too long to get back on. They better deliver for a finale season. I think we could get more out of it, but I'm happy with where they started.
Lamont, I am so glad to be back as well. I really did enjoy the show. I think season 1 is still my favorite, maybe season 2. I know it's definitely not season 3,
Definitely not.
but when I hit play, I didn't remember anything that happened before. I'm really glad they gave us that recap because I pretty much forgot everything, to be honest with you. I forgot that LaMarcus passed away,
Yeah.
because he got hit on the field. They thought he was okay. He got married and then, passed away on the honeymoon. I forgot all about Amara and her crashing out and overdosing in the pool. So that recap was very, very necessary. While I did enjoy this episode and I was just thrilled to be back to see this proud black family, I wasn't in love with it. There was some things that frustrated me, and it was a bit confusing. One of the reasons is the time jump. We got a cliffhanger of LaMarcus dying on his honeymoon. So I wanted to see the immediate aftermath of that. How did Hillary react? How did the rest of the family react? How did the rest of the world or the country or all of his colleagues, love friends? But I feel like we kind of just skipped over that. Like there was no funeral or anything. It just, he died and now we're, in the future. And also, what the hell is going on with Jeffrey being kidnapped and Will being snatched? I'm like, wait a minute. When did this happen? And I was confused because when we were looking in present day, now in episode 1, he has just a regular cut. But last season, he had the hot box fade. And so I had to rewind, like, wait a minute, did I blink too fast or something? What did I miss? And so afterwards, after I finished the episode, I went back, and watched the last episode of season 3, episode 10. And there was none of that. There was no Jeffrey and Will and a garage and him getting snatched up. And so so a good chunk of this episode when I was watching it, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I felt kind of silly. I felt kind of dumb. I felt just like, what am I doing here? Am I getting old? Am I having amnesia? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being serious. What do you think about all that?
I'm laughing because I felt the same way, brother, because I'm sitting here like, I just complained that they took too long to come back. And I hate it when series do that. I get they're trying to make us go back and watch the previous season via the streaming service, but I ain't got no time for that. I want the show to come back quick enough so I don't got to do that. So I'm sitting here like, when did Will get snatched up? When did Jeffrey save him? And sadly, I also forgot that LaMarcus died. I do remember Hillary and Jazz kissing, and I think they might have even messed around. I kind of remember that, but I never remember LaMarcus dying. And so both of those is kind of like shocks to me. And I kind of got lost too when Aunt Viv, revealed she was pregnant. I was like, did that happen last season or was this season? So yeah, I'm with you, BA. Those time jumps, they went like Marvel MCU. We have incursions going on.
I like that right there. But guys, don't get it twisted. I mean, I still enjoyed the show. I think it's still great overall.
Yep.
And so kudos to everybody involved that put it together. It is a shame that this will be the last season. Especially with the way this ended. It seemed like, man, this season may be fire with the way that everything is popping off, but I don't want to jump too far ahead. But I was a bit irritated with that right there. One thing I will say positive is everybody's hair and makeup was on point with this episode. I mean, the edge ups were crisp to the T. Like they was going to the biggest ball in the land and they were just trying to show up and show out. So got to give it up to the hair and makeup. Carlton's lineup was nice. Will's was nice. Jazz was nice. He had the little parts and cuts all on the side of his head. Hillary, everybody was looking good, man. Even little baby Ashley, and I kind of feel weird, saying that, but her hair and makeup was interesting too, and I like that. And we see that she has a new boyfriend.
Yeah,
He has a new boyfriend. And they kissing and smooching and hugging and booty rubbing in the hallways of the school. I Yeah, I gotta say that tickled you. I gotta say, I love the energy that Carlton and Will were giving this dude right here. Like, ain't gonna be no smashing my little sister, my little cousin. 100%. That's how you do it. It reminded me of Bad Boys 2
yeah.
when Will and Martin rushed the door like, hey, and had the gun and all that and pistol, I ain't going back. I ain't going back and all that, I liked all that, man. How did you feel about them checking the new boyfriend?
Man, you took the words right out of my mouth. I felt like that was Will and Carlton's embodiment of Marcus and Will Smith's character. I felt like that was the embodiment of the way they treated who we wound up liking in this last movie. I forgot his name too, but that's how they treated my man. And then I'm looking at Carlton like, dude, Carlton, you like 5 foot nothing. And I know this dude is a freshman and you are a senior. But dude, you too little to be in his face like that. Now, even Will was smaller than this dude, and Will is tall. I'm like, y'all better be watching it. But that's what made it feel like Bad Boys, because if you remember, Old Boy was taller than Marcus. He was taller than Will Smith. And that's why I felt like they probably did rip this from the show. But I love how they put it in there. I love the way the boy was behaving. And has Ashley now finally decided that she's going to go the way of Dickley and not carpet munching? Where we at with that?
I was, of course, I was going to bring that up, but I was like, how do I want to enter this area of sexual orientation?
Which I'm fine, both of them. Don't look like y'all make no mistake. Lamont fights for y'all to love, do what you want to do. If you want to jump in the trash can and love Oscar the Grouch, be my guest. I just want to know where they're taking her story.
Right. Yes, it did. I didn't. You said Oscar the Grouch. I'm not gonna lie, man, because they did bring it up in season 3. That she was either gay, lesbian, or bisexual. But it was shoehorned in. I didn't feel like it was organic. I just kind of felt like the studio was checking the box, like, oh, inclusion. Let's make sure we include a gay character, a trans character. It was ridiculous, and so. I again, like you, I don't mind that it's there. Gay people exist, lesbian exists, but they've always existed, since the beginning of time or recorded history. But it's just, it's just the execution, the delivery. Is this a real genuine relationship or feelings, or are you just trying to appease people and pander to them, because you want to appear that you're being inclusion, and when you fail at that, when the writing is bad, it just falls in his face. And so but actually she did piss me off in this episode, like big time.
Me too.
God, I don't know if this is going to come back up later on in the season. I mean, it has to. Little Nikki is arriving, and I just thought about this. In the original show, Little Nicky, of course, he was born, but then he ended up being like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. If this is the last season, unless they're gonna do another massive time jump, we're not going to see that. We're not going to see baby Nikki, because this is the final season, unless the ratings are just through the roof and everybody's just clamoring, please give us a Bel Air season 5, 6. So that's disappointing right there. But for Ashley, first of all, let me back up. For Aunt Viv to tell Joan that she was pregnant before her husband, I don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't like it. The first person you should tell is the husband, is the daddy, because the baby would not be here if it wasn't for him. And well, of course, it wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. It takes two. It doesn't take one. Yes, it's the woman's body and all of that. And I do feel that women should have 100% control over the whole body. So we can nip that argument in the bud. But I was disappointed when she told Joan. I like Joan's reaction. She was like, "Oh," she sat down. "This is amazing. I guess you and Fia have been getting your groove on." Oh, girl, I liked all that. Nice Kodak moment between women and them bonding. But for them to be married this long, and they're always talking about radical honesty. I think is the term they use, and which I do like that concept in the marriage. I may have to borrow that myself, but yeah, man, her not telling her husband first was just diabolical to me. How do you feel about that?
It was, but I can just go ahead and tell you right now, when you've been married that long, a lot of the things that are in the rule book of what you're supposed to do, just throw the shit out the window. I'm sorry. If y'all have never been married or been with someone for over a decade, you hear all the book smart stuff and what you should do, what you shouldn't do. The shit that's just not reality, folks. I'm sorry. And the best analogy I can give you is you have these kids go to Dare, not Dare, sex education in 5th grade, and you tell them to abstain. Is that reality? No, it's not. You want it to be, but it's not. That's how it is in long-term relationships. And if you recall, B. Avery, Phil and Vivian was having some rocky times the last 2 seasons. So some very rocky time. One time we thought, oh, Green Eye Snatch the Bandit was going to take her at one point in time. Then we saw Phil almost get caught up with that lawyer chick at one point in time. And then just when it looks like they're about to reunite and get over the curve, the writers threw another barrier in their face. And so, yeah, it was wrong for her to do that. But a lot of those things happen when you've been married that long and you've got to figure out a way to work them out. I would have been cool if she would have told her mama first. I'm cool with a daughter getting pregnant, and before they tell the spouse or whoever the baby daddy is, you talk to your mama about it because your mama's giving birth. Ultimately, I would prefer you to talk to the spouse first, ultimately, or the man. I would prefer you talk to him first. Yeah. But I'm okay if you talk to your mama first, because if you got a deadbeat guy, why are you going to tell him first? Or if you have a guy that you're unsure of, why would you tell him first? But if it's a committed husband, the way Phil has been, the way y'all have raised kids, and they just got finished talking about having an empty nest, you got to tell that man that first.
Yeah, and you're right. And just to clarify, I have never been in a relationship with one woman over 10 years. Lamont,
I've been in 2, and I'm 45.
Okay, I did not know that. I did not know that. And Lamont is currently married. Lamont has 2 children, so I like that we can kind of bounce back and forth here. As far as ideas is concerned, because you just kind of put me on game, educated me. Let me ask you this though. Yeah. So she's at the doctor, and I think she said I cannot pronounce that. Geriatric. There we go. I thought that was interesting. So they have Hillary's grown. Yeah. Will and Carlton are finna go to college. Mm-hmm. Ashley is in high school, 9th or 10th grade.
Freshman.
Empty nest. Now, I don't necessarily know all of the complications when it comes to women getting their tubes tied and snipped and burned. I know that if they get them tied, you're not gonna have a baby no more, but I know that's reversible. But if they cut it and then, like, I don't want to say burn the ends. Maybe that is the technical term you use, or the medical term, but am I going too far to say that it was irresponsible for Vivian not to have her tubes tied? And I don't know if it's a complicated procedure or just something easy, like how you can just run in an afternoon on, I know you can't just run in afternoon on lunch, but was that irresponsible for her not to get that done so that they cannot have children graduating high school when they're 64, 65 years old? What are your thoughts there?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I'm in that situation. It's just that I never had kids prior to waiting till I was older to have kids. And
that's different though for you, but keep going. I'm sorry.
And mind you, the mother of my kids was 40 plus when we had our first child. And I'm younger than my wife. She's robbing the cradle, obviously. And I don't want to say it's irresponsible, because a lot of women, they feel like if you haven't had a child, think about how long it's been since they've had a child. Ashley was the last child. She's in high school now. At that point in time, a lot of women probably going through menopause. They're probably really feeling like their biological clock has shut it down, like it's not working. So they wouldn't get their tubes tied. And in their situation with their finances and the dynamics of their relationship, it's not irresponsible for her to not get her tubes tied. And I'm sorry, we're just being 100. if you are someone who's in financial strain, yeah, you need to get your tubes tied if you already got 6 kids. You can't deal with that no more. You can't deal with it. Or if you're someone where your life is going to be threatened really bad, you need to get your tubes tied. But nowadays, more and more women have fought father time and are having kids beyond the age of 35, even though the complications go up significantly at 35 because the lady's eggs aren't as virile anymore. There's some other complications in vitro that could happen, and a lot of kids born past 35 tend to have different issues with like special needs and all that. And that's because a lot of the time the health care for people that age, especially Black women, is not as good as it should be. And so if you're in the right demographic, you should have your tubes tied. But overall, for their situation, there's no reason she need to have her tubes tied.
You got a point. I gotta backtrack just a little bit to clarify, because I can understand your situation and anybody else if they haven't had kids yet. You know, yeah, I mean, you want to at least have one before you pass. I mean, even if you're 50, I can't necessarily get mad at that. I can only imagine bringing a child in this world is a beautiful thing, something that, you know, most people do not want to miss out on. I saw a IG clip today where they had the camera up, husband and wife were sitting, like husband was on the floor, wife was on the couch or the bed. No, little boy was at the end of the bed. The wife was on the couch. No, little boy was at the end of the couch. Wife was laying on the couch. Husband came in and sat at the bottom of the couch in front of the wife. The son came over, sat right by the dad. Dad put his arm around him. It was a beautiful Kodak moment. I saw one of the first comments. It was like, man, I'm 45 years old. I haven't had children yet. I hope that God blesses me, you know, one day so I can experience this. I was like, oh my goodness gracious, that's wonderful right there. So, and also, I guess you're right too, because I mean, if Ashley is her last child, I know they're not using condoms. That's stupid. You're married. So he been shooting up the club this whole time, and she hasn't gotten pregnant in shit 15, 16 years. So
Right.
I mean, why would she think that? That's just really interesting though. You shooting the club up for 15 years and you don't get pregnant. That's interesting how that works. I need to do some more reading and stuff.
And behavior. There's other ways, there's other non-invasive ways for women to have birth control now without getting the stuff snipped. You can put the IED in, and that lasts 10 years, stuff like that. And maybe she had maybe, you know, the writers could spin this. She had an IED, it expired, she didn't go get it fixed or whatever, and then boom, you know, my man swinging the bat that shoot nothing but home runs, okay? And bam, you stuck with baby Nikki. If they make it baby Nikki, they could make it baby Nikki as in boy Nikki, not Nicholas.
There you go. There you go. And you brought up that this family has wealth. I mean, we've been knowing that. How much you think that house costs? 50 million or 100 million?
Considering they said that they are a billionaire family and it's in California, that house is probably $100 million house, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
If you was to get that same house here in North Carolina, you could literally get that probably for like 20 million, but not in California.
Really? Okay.
Oh, man, yeah, not in California.
That's a big ass difference right there. Carlton's bedroom is like damn near as big as my whole apartment, bro. Like this.
Straight up, man. His closet,
closet
is as big as my apartment for real.
Craziness, man.
Man.
Craziness. But you know, that's wonderful. You know, I love to see it, man. I love to see it. But
and we're gonna get their audience. Don't let me fool you. We on the come up now. Don't let them fool you. We on the come up. We about to be in the Bel Air mansion where we stay at.
Right on, my brother. I love it. I love it. But staying on the pregnancy, man. Like, okay, Ashley, she stumbled upon the pregnancy test. Yeah. Why are you taking this to school, man, and showing your classmates? Like, you are so out of pocket. So, mom, is there a reason why you don't want to have champagne? Like, what's the reason? Oh my gosh! Like, she needs to be humble. Somebody need to give her a butt whooping or something, man. I don't want nothing bad to happen. But Ashley, you out of line. So you're not pregnant? Are you serious? I will be so upset if she is not reprimanded by her mom or dad later on in the season. I do not want her to get away with that. That is super duper crossing the line. You know what I'm saying? I also thought the field was kind of gonna go off. You know, like, what? This is how I found out. You don't tell me, and you know, yada yada yada. You've been on for 3 weeks, but they handled it well. But Ashley, man, that's that drove me up a wall right there, bro. You feel the same way, or am I tripping?
No, I feel the same, but I also understand what she did is them displaying the nature of teenage girls in that manner. That's what they displayed. Teenage girls hit a point, just like the boys do too, where they feel like they're on their parents' level and they can say things to their parents that their parent, like my daughter be testing me right now, and I'll be like, "Girl, I'm gonna tell your mama to pop you in the lip because I ain't gonna hit you, but your
Yeah.
mama, if she want to pop you in that lip, I'm gonna let her pop you in that lip." And you got to nip that stuff in the bud. If this was back in my day, behavior, the 1980s, and I was to pull that with my grandma, she would have pimp slapped me back in the 1972. Do you hear me? I don't care if I'm a senior in high school, but you can't do that. It's not apropos to do that now, but you can discipline that girl by taking away all her electronics, no social media, go to your room, read books. We're going to make you, your punishment is to live old school 1980s. That's your punishment, and that would make her cry.
Yeah. Um, Hillary losing LaMarcus.
Mm.
I don't mean to sound
I know what you're going to say, and I feel the same way.
go no
Don't say it.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Don't say it. You had no emotional wealth in LaMarcus, period.
That's not what I was gonna say, but that
Oh,
is true. That is true. And I like LaMarcus.
I
Um
didn't.
I mean he's cool. I'm indifferent on him. I say I mean he ain't did nothing he ain't did nothing to me for me not to like him. You know, I mean I ultimately wanted Hillary to end up with Jazz.
Same.
But but I mean he ain't I'm not gonna hate on the brother, he ain't did nothing to me. But I'm just curious, man. When you lose your spouse, what is a respectable amount of time, if any at all, to move on to somebody else?
Whenever you,
And am I rude for even suggesting that or bringing that question up?
no, absolutely not. I mean, you can't live in the past forever. And I think that the acceptable amount of time to move on is honestly when you feel like you're done grieving and you feel like you can move on to someone else without always feeling like you're falling back into the person you was married to. And they ain't been married that long. So it's not gonna it shouldn't take her that long to get over him. Everybody grieves different. I did not like the way she came off from Jazz, and I think you're probably going to talk about that in a
Oh,
minute.
definitely. Yeah.
That wasn't necessary. That was a little over the top. But right now is not the right time to be stepping to her like that. Well, I'm not even going to say like that because he came correct. But she's still hurting. She's hurting right now. This happened recently. She needs time to grieve. She needs time to kind of, get her head back up for air on her own terms. And then you can start maybe trying to holler again. But right now is a little too soon to holler. But I don't feel like
Oh,
Jazz
definitely.
stepped to her in that manner, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, man. He was put in a very weird, precarious position. Because like when he was talking with Will earlier on, he was like, "Man, I wanted to hit her up just to see how she was doing, to be a friend, but I'm not trying to seem like I'm trying to, ease up on her and just take advantage of the situation when she's vulnerable, because just to be." I'm gonna just be honest with you. Men do take advantage of women, when they're vulnerable. Women are really vulnerable when they break up with somebody as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure we both experienced that, and a ton of women have told me that themselves too. That when a woman is trying to get over a man, one of the things they do is get under another one as soon as they can. I'm not suggesting that Hillary does that at all. But I remember the last time a woman told me that. I was just like, damn, that was honest as hell. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, about that, bro. Yeah, like you said, she is grieving. But I did feel that was kind of out of pocket for her to pop off at Jazz like that. I don't think he should have been at the house, like that, for Hillary just to kind of pop up, and
Right.
it'd be awkward like it was. If him and Will need to do something together, they probably could have met at a neutral spot, not the crib. But yeah, she is grieving, but I did not understand like why she was so mad at him. I'm like, what did he do?
So some of that is probably pain from grieving too. Yeah, some people when they go through these different things, sadly, behavior. I've had to go through like a lot of these different human emotions we're seeing on TV over the last 2 years. because of situations in my relationship, because I've lost 3 people in the last 2 years that were like cornerstone heroes to me to cancer.
I'm sorry.
And you grieve those situations. Sometimes you lash out at people that aren't even your enemy when they're trying to do right by you because you're hurting, you're in pain. And sometimes the way people deal with the pain, if they don't go get counseling, is it makes them feel better to lash out, take it out on somebody who didn't even deserve it. And this was a situation where she lashed out on someone who did not deserve it because he didn't step to her in that man. He wished her condolences. That's what he wished her.
Yeah.
Maybe it shouldn't have been at the house. I agree with that. But it still wasn't worth the lash out that she gave him.
Right. Agree. Y'all let us know what y'all think in the chat of that situation. Well, pretty much everything we talked about. I don't need to go down the list. Let me ask you this, Lamont. You have been in elementary, junior high, and high school. You've gone to college.
Yep.
You've lived a young adult life in your 20s and 30s. You're in your mid 40s, married with children. Is there any world or reality that being in high school can be more stressful than being an adult?
That's a hard philosophical question to answer. And the reason why I say that is because you're talking about 2 totally different mindsets that have to deal with 2 totally different stimulus. High school feels like your life is about to be over with because of the peer pressure.
Right.
Because of what everybody else is doing, because of status, because of who's wearing Jordans, because who likes who's doing who's going to the prom with who's got a car. That stuff, because you don't have the experiences that someone my age will have, feels like it's life and death to you. And then when you get to be my age and you're dealing with a mortgage, insurance, 2 kids, childcare, situations might not be good in your marriage. You got parents and grandparents dying. There is no level where high school stress is harder than adult stress. But the problem is the high school mind is not as advanced and versed as the adult. So to them, it might seem like it, but if you lay it out on paper, no, the adult life is way more stress filled.
Right on, right on. The reason why I asked it is I think at one point, I think everybody can say to themselves that, hey, they've had a couple of episodes in their life where they're like, oh my gosh, my life is over. What am I going to do? And these things in high school are so important. Like, oh, but when you get older and you look back, you just feel stupid. And like, I was tripping over this.
Me too.
We've all been there. Just like, man, like nothing in high school matters. Nothing, unless you, nothing. I mean, maybe a few little caveats here and there. I mean, I say that because Carlton is really stressing out over college admission, and I was stressed out as well. My younger brothers, I know a lot of people are stressed out about that, and he's like, oh my God, I got to get into Princeton. If I don't, my life is over. I made a B, I made a C minus, I failed the class. It'll be okay, sir. It'll be okay. But that's what I was thinking about, man, when he was tripping and made up this elaborate story of rehab and almost dying and drowning in the pool, etc. That's crazy. That's crazy. Was Carlton, are you feeling Carlton on that, or is he tripping big time?
He's not tripping because he's not been blessed with the wisdom and experience to know that there are greater things to trip about. So to him, if he doesn't get into his number 1 pick college, it seems like life and death. Now, what you learn after you get older, if you get denied that college, what makes the human being the best person they can be is when adversity is thrown your way and you find a creative way to overcome it. And let's just say he didn't get into Princeton. What's wrong with Harvard?
Right.
Hell, what's wrong with Wake Forest? As long as you get there and you perform properly, nobody cares. Nobody becomes a doctor and then they look at the school you went to and worry about, did you make it? You're a doctor. You have to pass a board exam regardless of what school you go to. Nobody cares if you made C's and D's. You pass that board exam. So whatever he wants to do as a professional, as long as he passes that board exam, he's going to be good. But he doesn't understand that because he's so young. And right now he's just thinking, if I don't get in, my life is over. That's it.
Now, I don't mean to like check you like this, but because I know like you and your wife are in the medical field. Like they don't care if you make C's and D's.
Well, that was just a joke.
Okay.
Like you can't really make a D or a C really in any of those programs, but you can make
Yeah.
B's. And
Okay.
do you care if your doctor makes B's if he's done 100,000 surgeries and never lost a patient?
Okay. I'm curious. I don't know, man. What name would you prefer? Legacy Heights or Minority? What was the name? Minority. Damn it, I forgot the name of the. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Minority Marketplace. What name would you have gone with for the new development that Phil and his colleague are working on? And do you trust that other guy as well? Because he's trying to do kickbacks and stuff and feel like I don't want no part of that, bro. I got too much riding on me over here. You trying to get a brother caught up. Where you at there?
You ready for me to go ahead and give predictions about all that?
Yeah, I
They've
do.
they've already set the booty up. No, Phil cannot trust his partner. And what the dude used to play in, what was the show he played in? God, I can't think of the name of it, man. I'm getting old, but I had jokes when he played in a show that used to come on the USA Network. Audience, help me out with this. But no, you can't trust him. I would probably, for a business perspective, I would name it Legacy Heights, because if you name it Minority, whatever they was going to name it, that might take white people who think that they shouldn't be in the community and they won't show up. So you
Right.
want the place to be the type of place where everybody can come. You can still make the place highly cultured for us,
Yes.
like paintings, artwork, and all that. But if you just name it Minority anything, you might run away some people, not because they're racist, but because they're thinking that this is something we built just for us and it's wrong for them to be a part of it.
Right.
But if you name it Legacy Heights, you can show the legacy of Black people, how we kept scaling up higher, and how along that scale we invited white people to build with us, so you can get them there. Now back to your boy, his partner, B. Avery. You can't trust him more than you can trust a rattlesnake. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. They introduced Jeffrey at the end, who needs to clean money, and he's absolutely right. One of the best ways to wash dirty money is through real estate.
Well, hold on. Let's say that plot point for.
Well, it ties into what we're talking about right now with
okay.
Old Boy. Because they set the booty up to let you know Old Boy is dirty. He's willing to do dirt. And now Jeffrey is back having to do dirt. And you saw how Yamaclaw was behaving, Uncle Phil. They're going to go behind his back and they're going to get themselves in some trouble. Folks, book that prediction.
Okay, are you writing it down on the tablet? On the
you want me? Oh, yeah. Look, I keep it ready.
Yes.
Keep it ready.
Yes.
Keep it ready.
You need to when you fill out the last page, bury it in a capsule. And 50 years from now, people can dig it up and come back. and
audience, B. Avery's not lying. I've saved all B. Avery. Look, I've got all of them. Here's one. I got them all. Here's another one.
These are Lamont's prediction books that he got together for all the recaps. You know, he be knocking it out the park sometimes. So that's what's up right there. Carlton got a new boo thing too. You know, he's saving paraphernalia of blackness, or what that's black sense, excuse me.
Black cess.
There you go. And he got him a nice little cheerleader, you know what I'm saying? So but they throwing a monkey in the is it a monkey in the wrench? Is that the phrase?
You whatever you want. They're throwing a monkey wrench in there, they're throwing gears in the sand.
Yeah, there you go.
They can fix this.
They're clogging up the drain. They're clogging up the drain. Amara has come back out of nowhere. Not only am I back, I'm enrolling in the same school because Bel Air is one of the best in the nation to get you into some engineering programs. Hey, are you happy to see me? They're like, man, what is going on? Go back to where you were, you crazy woman.
Go back to rehab.
Go back to rehab. And yeah, she was like, rehab, like it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, Carlton, what's Carlton gonna do?
Hey, I'm a creative person. I've lived through some rough times, people. And when life throw you lemonades, I just got finished saying you got to figure out a creative way to save it. So B. Avery, he has nothing but one choice.
What's that?
he got to go neo. He got to have both of them. They got to become a threesome. That's the only
Oh
thing he
my
can do.
goodness gracious! You
So,
had to take it there.
yeah, I
I do
mean,
not want to see high schoolers having threesomes. You know,
look, man,
that's
that they getting younger and younger doing it, man. Like, look, if Ashley is 1 minute munching carpets, the next minute taking baths, why not go ahead and introduce this new thing called threesomes in the high
that's
school? Why
that's,
not?
that's gross. That's not.
Okay,
That's
look, I'm giving Carlton solutions because what's going to be the alternative? These two going to fight, and you know the girl that was in rehab going to win because she looked like Keisha Cole and probably can fight like Keisha Cole. So I'm trying to give you non-violent. I'm trying to give you loving solutions, not violent ones.
She does look like she'll bite somebody's nostrils off
Sure does.
and chew them. You know,
Yep.
I'm not trying to be ugly, but she just great acting. I'll just say
Great,
that. You know,
fantastic.
she's pulling it off as somebody that is maybe slightly unhinged. Is that pretty invasive for her to do that? You know, imposing like this, enrolling in the school. That's just that's a bit much right there. Or is it a okay in your opinion?
If she's coming to that school for the specific reason if that is number one on her list and it's not to get back with Carlton, I don't have a problem with it. But what I fear is that was her list is not just one thing. Like everybody talks about people vote based on one item, and that is just a lie. People have like two or three of their most important things that they lump together. And if he's in her top three after her wanting to do the engineering thing, and I think that's dangerous. But if she's really here for the engineering, if she's really an understanding person that has gone to rehab, she should understand that he moved on. But I just don't see her understanding it, and it's going to be a problem.
Oh, 100%. Did they let us know how long she was gone?
They didn't
Or
say. Didn't say.
okay. Do we know exactly how much time has passed between season 3 and 4? Was I not paying attention?
Look, I missed it too then, and I usually can pick up on everything, and I missed that too.
I want to guess maybe 2 or 3 months, but I'm just kind of spitballing right now. So,
I
yeah.
mean, the way Will haircut look, I'm gonna say maybe more than 2 months. I mean, I guess you can go get that cut next week if you want to,
Yeah, yeah.
but I don't know.
Okay, okay. Y'all let us know. It would be really interesting is if Amara was the one that moved on and she found her new boo thing, and Carlton is the one getting jealous or whatever.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
That'd
really, really interesting right there. So y'all let us know what y'all think about that as well. I do like the scene where Will and Hillary were eating, it looked like some type of cheesecake, and they're kind of blaming themselves, like, man, maybe Lamarcus wouldn't have died if I would have called 911 a little faster.
yeah.
Or maybe Jeffrey would still be here if I went back and circle back, and helped him out with a flying dragon kick or something like that. Survivor's remorse is something that you can label these situations. I felt sorry for them, and I really did like this scene. Their relationship is wonderful, in
Mhm.
my opinion. Just the way they get along and communicate. I love it, man. You got any thoughts there? Because she
I
started
love it
crying
too.
too.
I love it too, and I like how they put like that white cake that a lot of people deliver after bad news happens. I guess they do it in LA too. I thought it was a Southern thing, but some like after when funerals hit, people deliver lots of food and drinks, and a traditional cake is a iced white cake, and the camera was panning around them. The acting was fantastic. If y'all haven't heard Mrs. Jones's music, she can sing her butt off. I'm sure y'all have heard it, but go get her albums. I just love the way they pan. She looked very deep in thought and sad. He looked very deep in thought and sad. And that chemistry between the two really embodied that scene. They did a great job. Really, really talented crew.
They did. They did. Um,
I wanted to eat cake though, because
man,
it's my cheat day.
bro, I am eating some cake Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, we talked about that. They're like, what are you talking about, Brandon? Why would you eat cake now? We was talking about something before we hit record. Um, Lamont, when you are a victim of something horrific, it's traumatizing.
Yeah.
Um, some people can get over it in a day, a week. Some people never get over it. Whether you're robbed, beat up, raped, betrayed. Will is going through it right now, man. He's zoning out, man. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
That's just something that you're just not going to get over. My brother's car has been stolen twice,
Oh no.
and I think both times when he was in high school. And that still has him shook up today. I mean, you feel vulnerable, man. It's taken advantage of. That's your whip, and it's just gone twice. That happened to him as a child. And so, I mean, my mind is racing right now. I'm just thinking about a lot of scenarios. I'm on the fence with Will and Carlton's reaction to wanting to get their lick back. They don't. I mean, that he is such in unknown territory, trying to pull up to these gangsters' crib like this and take his revenge out and let out his frustrations. It's not a smart decision at all. It's quite stupid. But I understand where he's coming from, even though I've never been in a situation like that. Now, I like the acting in the scene, but at the same time, it was frustrating. But at the same time, again, they're in high school, they don't think all the time. This dude is pulling up in a easy identifiable car. Carlton got his freaking preparatory uniform on. They don't got no ski mask, hood, nothing like that. But they just want to go beat up a G wagon in broad daylight like that. I don't even think it was smart for the G wagon to be out in the street like that instead of like under a tarp or in a garage or something like that. I have so many feelings about this scene right here. How did you feel about it? I mean, are they dumb diddy for doing what they did? Are you like, nah, bro? If that happened to me, I want to bust some windows too. Where you at on that?
That was high school move. I mean, that was like one of those young and dumb things. 'Cause back in my day, we would get bored and we would throw eggs on people's cars that's
Oh
riding by.
my gosh, you heathen!
Yeah, yeah, we was terrible, man. We would ride through neighborhoods, seek out folk. We if you was riding on a bike and you was a teacher in our school, we egged you up. But what they did wasn't based in what we did. Ours was based in boredom. Theirs was based in we want vengeance. We're upset. We need to get some get back. That is not how you get back. Okay, that is how you get killed. That's how
Yeah,
you get beat up for nothing. First, Will did have on a hoodie. It was the dusk of night. But Carlton, this dude went and got his 8-iron golf club, got on a tie, put it on his back. Now I'm gonna shout him out because you can tell he work out. He stay in the gym. I give him credit and I give Phil credit. They stay in the gym. That means they discipline. But bruh, you cannot go over there beating up a G wagon. And basically, it's not broad daylight. It's night. Carlton, you ain't got nothing covering your head. At least Will had on a hoodie. And what does that do for you? How does that make you feel better? Does it make you feel better that you beat up a car? You didn't do nothing to the human beings that did this. A smarter plan would have been to wait for Jeffrey, figure out how Jeffrey can help you get in and get the people that really done this, and then get your vengeance. Not like this. This right here could risk what you did, risk a whole lot more than what it satisfies in your vengeance.
yeah. I agree with you 100%. At the same time, I know that it did make Will feel better. Because I mean, I need to go. I've never been to therapy before. I need to go. I'm not. When I say that, I don't mean to sound just so dramatic, like my life is just horrible. But I mean, we all go through things. I have too, because there's just stuff that happened to me when I was younger that I just need to talk to somebody about. A professional, especially if I want to get married someday and have kids. I want to have the best mindset as possible. Will definitely does need to do that, and I understand he wants to get back, but I'm going to give you a extreme example right here that um I remember hearing, and this has happened a lot, but I remember hearing a story on the news where a father, and I heard this a number of times in the news, like a father heard a rumbling in his home in the middle of the night. He goes in his daughter's bedroom, and there was a somebody broke in and was trying to like rape or sexually molest his daughter, and he had to beat the brakes off of him, and the guy got away. You know, hopped out the window and got away. I remember another situation where um, a man found another man that broke into his home, and he was like sexually molesting his little boy. He beat his ass to a pulp, called 911, like, hey, 911, y'all need to come to my house right now. There was a man that broke into my home. He was taking advantage of my child. I beat him to death. I beat his ass down. He's bleeding on my floor right now. Y'all need to come and get him. In a situation like that, the little boy, the little children, they're going to be traumatized for life.
Right.
In that time that you're waiting for the police to come to sweep up all the mess, will you allow your child or your loved one to, like, okay, I beat his ass. I want you to get your licks in right now too, so that you can, you know, kind of get your power back. Am I making sense right now? Is that something that you would do, or am I making sense? I don't feel like I'm articulating the right way, because I mean that child, that victim is gonna, you know, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years from now, they're not gonna be able to get over that. They're always gonna feel bad and want some type of revenge. But it may help them in that moment, you know, if those fathers allowed them to get like a lick in or a kick in or something like that. You know, like does that make sense? Have you seen For Color Girls?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The woman that she was raped in that by that nasty monster. Later on in the movie that was off screen, he tried to take advantage of somebody else. She stabbed him in the neck. They brought the first rape victim down to the hospital, the morgue, to see the dead body. Like, hey, is this the guy that raped you a couple of weeks ago too? She said, yes, that's him. She went over to the dead body and she slapped him. I know that made her feel good. That's what I'm talking about right there. Is it necessary for victims to have those small moments like that of revenge, you know, to feel better and to get through that situation? Am I making sense, or am I sound like a crazy person?
No, you articulated it fine, but a therapist would tell you no, that's not necessary. A therapist would, even because I'm a 45-year-old and I get therapy every month, and I went through couples therapy, and I'm a black male who completely believes in it, because therapy helps you get your thoughts together, it helps you communicate better, it helps you understand yourself better, and when you understand yourself better, you can deal with others better. It's an alpha male move, and everybody needs it, whether you deny it or not. And a therapist would tell you no, you shouldn't hit that person back. You release that anger through something else that doesn't deal with the entity that created, is what a therapist would say. And I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you, it's not a parallel to what happened, but it's just a situation. It's an extreme situation of, you do something in the moment that feels good, but later on it hurts you. And
Okay.
well, I'm not even going to give that example. But what you just said is something that you do in the moment that feels good. And then later on, you might have regrets that you slapped that person, because you hit that person because you gave them power to make you do something. That's what you did. When it was already over, the person's dead, your daddy done monkey whipped them. There's no need for you to do that. All you're doing is creating more caveats in your brain later on when you have to talk to the therapist that you've got to overcome. And a therapist will say you don't need to do that. But I get what you're saying, that it gives you a momentary release, but is that release worth it on the long run?
I'm not saying that I'm right, but I still think I would want to get the hit in, bro. Me personally.
Yeah.
And I just may need to mature some more and get some therapy myself. You've had therapy, I have not. So I know that was long and drawn out, y'all. I'm just bringing that back because I'm just thinking about Carlton and Will, taking the bet and the club to the golf club to the car. And so I definitely want to hear all y'all thoughts as far as that's concerned as well. What the hell is wrong with Carlton, man? Stealing a Myra story. That is crazy.
That is, man, he
That
asking
is,
for,
yeah, that is just, well, that's wild right there, man.
bro. He's gonna have to pay for that.
Yeah.
He's gonna, and we already know someone like her, if she didn't get strong rehab, it doesn't take much to have her relapse. And not only that, but there comes some behavioral issues of someone who's gotten over the situation that they was in, and someone that they really, really care about shanked them like that. That can be a tipping point, and I think that this is going to be a tipping point for her.
Yeah. It definitely is. It definitely is. How do you feel about? I don't know how I feel about this, man. Jeffrey was gone for weeks. They didn't want to get the cops involved because Phil said, "I don't want to call the cops on a gang that abducted their own member." I mean, but if it's gonna save his life, I
Yeah, but
mean, that's
he's worried about he's worried about putting everybody else in the household in danger because even though you're supposed to be anonymous, gang true cartel folks can figure out who did what, and that's probably what Uncle Phil is worried about.
you got a point. You got a point. You got a point. Okay, okay. I'm mad at Jeffrey though, bro. He offered them to the Lions, man, to the slaughter.
He did.
You made a deal like this? That you agreed to it? Yeah, I know that the Lincoln Heights thing was on the press news because Phil asked him, like, "Hey, man, did you give them not this idea?" He was like, "No, it was all over the press." But he still agreed to it, bro. Like, I like Jeffrey, but you just might have to take a bullet. I
Mm,
mean, you. This is
mm,
a life that you chose, man. You when you in that life, it's really hard to get out. And that's no experience. So I can't experience. I have not experienced that myself, but we all know that's true.
yeah,
You know, when we cover power, we talk about that all the time. There's rarely anybody that gets out alive. You either end up dead or in jail.
right. Or
And
both.
now, yeah, and Jeffrey, even though he walked away from this 20, 30 years ago, tried to pay him off with a bag of cash from the original Jeffrey. That's just interesting to me. You know, they still coming back, and it's like, nah, we got, I'm assuming, millions of dollars that we need to wash, and we wanted to go through the banks. And I know this wasn't in the episode; it was in the preview for what's coming on in the season, in the future season. But Veman was like, "Did you agree to this?" Phil was like, "Hell no!" But that's a crazy position that Jeffrey put this family in, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I think I love Jeffrey up until this moment right here. The only way, I can see him wig his way. I mean, they had to have threatened the whole family or something like, if you do not allow us to launder this money, we're gonna kill all the banks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. How you feeling, bro, about that?
Well, first thing I thought was when he talked about them laundering the money and that's how he's going to get out, I said to myself, they're going to make a deal with that partner, which I kind of already discussed earlier in this trailer. They're going to make a deal with that. That partner already showed you he's willing to be a little crooked. Uncle Phil, on the other hand, he wants to be above board. He wants to be above reproach. He don't want no situations going on, but he is caught in an ugly triangle, B. Avery, between
Yeah.
two people who are going to probably team up behind his back. And what's going to wind up happening? I can see Phil stroking a check to save Jeffrey. I can see him stroking the check. Problem with that is, let's say he stroked the check. Can you trust it? Can you really trust it? They probably, organizations like that, when they let you live, it doesn't become about the money. It becomes about how they can use you for whatever they need to use you for, and for you to be a fall guy if something goes wrong. That's what it becomes about. And then it bothered me to see that Jeffrey is tough, and they done broke his arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know how they're going to write them out of this because this is a chaotic situation. I don't know how he's getting up out of this a lot. And now Will done went and beat up the car.
Yeah.
It's tough, bro. It's tough.
And you see that in the preview, they done demolished the whole house. So things are getting serious, man. Somebody may die. Is everybody gonna make it out in this season, or somebody gonna die?
Somebody gonna die. Oh
Damn
yeah,
it.
that's gonna be a death. You
Damn it. Damn it.
you can go ahead and cool believe that.
Okay. I'll ask you next week, what your prediction is as far as that. I want to see one more episode before we dive into that. What did I leave out, man? What else is lingering on your mind over there?
You forgot to talk about how beautiful what's her name is golly, the one that Will is dating right now. And me and her chit chat back and forth. She would kick my butt if I don't remember her name. I'm wanting to call her by her real name,
You talking about
Lisa.
Lisa? Yeah, Lisa.
Lisa.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Simone is her
Yeah.
real name.
Right.
Um,
Simone Joy Jones.
yeah. Her name's Simone. And Simone, I know you watch these when I do them. I didn't say a thing about you, but girl, you got it going on. You are a phenomenal talent. I know I don't want to tell the people the next thing you're getting ready to be in because you sworn me to secrecy, but we saw you in this episode. The parts that you was consoling Will, the parts you was consoling oh golly, why am I shooting? It's too late for me. I'm up too late, y'all. The parts where you were consoling Will's cousin, you did a great job. Your hair was beautiful, and I can't wait to see how they unveil your secrets this season. So, Simone, I might invite you to come on the show. If I can get you here, please come and talk to both of us. That's
Right
all I
on,
got to
right
say.
on. Right on. Oh yeah, she's from your neck of the woods, Greensboro, North Carolina. So
Yep,
that's
Yama Craw.
that's what's up right there. Well, guys, season 4, the first episode has come out because you're watching this episode right now. They're releasing the first 3 episodes the Monday, November the 24th. I am going to, yeah, this episode, of course, is released right now because you're watching it, but episode 2 will be coming out on Monday sometime in the afternoon, and episode 3 I'm going to release either Monday night or Tuesday morning. On my channel, I cannot stack videos. That's just, they will not perform well. I got to spread mine out. Some channels can do that, but I can't. I've learned that since I've had my YouTube channel. So episode 2 and 3 is coming. I'm just not release our recaps. I'm just not all releasing it all at one time. But guys, also check out our recaps for Welcome to Derry. And also, I think I may be covering Stranger Things season 5, and I also have a review on my channel for The Last Samurai Standing on Netflix, the Eddie Murphy documentary, and Selena y los Dinos. Subscribe to both of our channels. If you're watching this on my channel, please subscribe to Lamont. And if you're watching this on Lamont's channel, please subscribe to my channel. Links of all that is in the description box below. But we're going to head out of here. Make sure you subscribe and come back for our episode 2 recap. But before we go, don't forget, I'm B. Avery. That's Lamont, and that's just our opinion. Peace out, and we'll see you next time.